creator of the universe is mentioning in the Quran that if all of humanity and the jinns is a different creation, by the way, if all of humanity and the jinns were gathered together to produce the likeness of the Quran, they would never be able to do it. So this challenge came to make the non-believers ponder that if you think that this book is coming from a human being, why don't you go and sit down and compose something which is similar or better than this book.
Try to collaborate, everybody.
Hello everybody, peace of Christ to all. You know, this is how Muslims, they try to make their book is really a book from God. You know, always we say that Muslims are people who have no brain, and we can say it loud and clear, they are brainless. First of all, he said that Muhammad do not know how to read, how to write. I challenge the Muslim to show me one verse in the Quran, one place, say that he is not a person who do not know how to read, how to write. Let me tell you, Muslims, you are the one who do not know how to read, not your prophet, because I can show you with the proofs and evidence from the Quran, and I can add some from the Hadith that Muhammad, he knew how to read, how to Quran. The Quran called Muhammad Ummi, not as a person who do not know how to read. Ummi simply is a word meaning the ones who do not know God, because your prophet was not a believer and he was a lost person. That's why the Quran says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. He found you lost and he guided you. He was lost. Why he was lost? It was if he was worshipping God. Why he was lost? What, he was going to Las Vegas? So simply the Muslims, they do not know what they are talking about. They have a prophet, his name is Muhammad, but they knew nothing about him. And maybe they want to know what they want to know only. Now let us show you how stupid this challenge that Allah he made to the human being and the genie. Actually, the challenge of the human being and the genie proved to me that Allah cannot be God. Why? Because what kind of a dumb, stupid God he is going to challenge genie and the human being if they are his creation? Like, why your God, he put himself in the level of his own creation? Imagine I challenge a mosquito. This is me and the human, like a human and a mosquito. It's very silly. So how God, you know the difference? Like, I'm comparing myself, like a challenge. Imagine a guy, he is 6 foot tall, he is challenging a mosquito. Now God himself is challenging the mankind. This is a stupid thing to say, and this is God. This God is really a fool. Secondly, the Muslim, they forgot that the Quran says clearly that the challenge failed. How? Let us show you. Now we have a very famous verse or verses in the Quran. Salman Rushdie, he made a book about it, and all of you know Salman Rushdie was an ex-Muslim, and simply it's called the Satanic Verses. This is in chapter 22, verse number 52. What happened according to the Muslims in here, that the shaitan, he put words in the mouth of Muhammad and he made him recite satanic verses. Now the important about this verse, that what Allah he is saying in this chapter, that okay, shaitan, he put verses in the mouth of Muhammad and I will delete it. Okay, I will go with what Allah is saying, no problem, if Allah is exist. Number one, the important here, that shaitan was able to make Quran the same as the Quran of Allah, and Muhammad did not notice, to the point that the shaitan, he made him recite about worshipping Al-Lat and Al-Uzza, which are the 3 daughters of Allah. The shaitan, he made him says that those are, it's a great honor to praise them and to worship them, and they can be your intercessor, like the one who can pray for you and the one who can forgive sin for you. So he is a person who did carry on reciting a Quran from shaitan, and he just told us, the guy in the TV, this Shabir, whatever his name, that Allah challenged all mankind to make a Quran. like this Quran. Okay. Now, if this Quran was not too good for Muhammad, why Muhammad recited? The Muslims did not notice. The Arab around did not notice. Muhammad himself did not notice. Later, you know, Jibreel, he showed up to Muhammad supposedly, and he say, hey Muhammad, Habibi Muhammad, what happened? What's up? What's up? What's up? Why you are reciting Quran verses? Muhammad, he said, I did. When? He don't know, according to the story. So when Allah, he says, I challenge all mankind to make Quran like this, this is even against what he said in his Quran. And this is telling me that really the one who's making the challenge is dumb. And guess what? Muhammad not only recite the false Satan Quran, no, he did bow down to the idols. Now, okay, Shaitan was able to make Quran better than the Quran of Allah. What made Muhammad to bow down? He is praying for the idols in front of the idols. He bowed down to them, and the pagans, they bow down with him. The pagans don't bow down to anyone except their gods. So they are sharing the same God at that time. And you will notice in here, actually, Muhammad, Jibreel, he never come to him to say, Muhammad, what you did. No. The Muslims who was watching, Muhammad was trying to be a hypocrite to the pagan. And he is a pagan himself, but different kind of paganism. So he was trying to be a hypocrite to those. But those who they are, Muslims like him, he thought nobody is seeing him. Nobody will notice what's going on. He didn't see some Muslims are watching from far distant. Right away, the Muslims, they said, oh, they were wondering like why the Prophet is sharing sujood. He is sharing sujood, which means he is bowing down to the idols of the pagans. It's not only the verses he did, or even he is bowing down. Now, what the verse in the Quran is saying to us, that yes, Shaitan, he made Quran. And Allah himself admit that. But Allah is going to take them off. But the point is that he did make Quran, and Muhammad himself, he did recite that Quran, and he could not recognize it. And he never recognized it actually. He did not recognize what he is doing. Like he did even bow down. He did say them. What's wrong with Muhammad? He was drunk, too much high, hash. And now I will add another question here. If Allah is saying it is the verse about those verses, the satanic verses, are taken out from the Quran, is simply from the Quran. Now, how I can accept the Quran as a proof that those satanic verses are taken off from the Quran if Allah never said what he took off? How we knew that they are taken off? How we knew that this verse itself is not made by Satan? Here we go. Satan was able to put Quran, to make Quran. But he could not, Allah, he could not tell us which verses will be taken off. Where? But did you see anything? He said there is verses. Yes, the Quran said Shaitan, he put them in the mouth of Muhammad. I would take them off. Take them off from where? There was no book yet. People heard them and they will memorize them by heart. You will take them off from where? From their memory? From their book? From what? And what is my guarantee that this is Shaitan himself is making this verse? The one who made 100 verses, he can add one verse more to say, don't worry, all those verses I put in the Quran, I took it off just to fool you more. So when the Muslims speak about miracles of the Quran, I laugh. The Quran is full of false miracles, mistakes and errors. And you can go to Debate TV and see tons of them. And I have hundreds of videos, and I'm making a book right now, and all of you will be laughing about this miracle book of the Quran. Just wait, it's coming. Christ is Lord. Islam made by a dummy. What a dummy. I mean to that. See you.